Welcome back to the Octopus Prime channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to set up n8n on your own computer or your own network. What's n8n? Let me show you. So n8n is an AI workflow automation tool that lets you use an LLM or AI agent or assistant to automate all kinds of workflows from local to online services. And you can pay for their service, but because it's an open source product, you can host it on your own system. So you could host it on your own computer if you want, or if you have been following along with my cluster series, you could host it on your cluster with Portainer, and then have a local n8n that you can use to automate some of your own workflows. So why don't we get into that a little bit today? It won't take long. What I'm going to do is share my Docker Compose file with you. So let's look at that for just a second here. So n8n is a pretty straightforward service to set up. We just need the one service, so it has the image, and it's only listening on the one port. And we have a couple of environment variables here set up. So I have my router or firewall set up to have host names, and I can point them at specific IP addresses and such. So I basically just set up an n8n host name and point it at whatever IP address of the computer that I set it on the network itself. So whether that's my local machine that I'm using right now to record this, or it's on one of my Raspberry Pi servers, doesn't matter. You just point it to wherever you want. So this base URL and host name should match whatever you set up for it. You might be able to just use an IP address there if you don't know how to or don't want to set up a host name. I haven't tested that, but probably that should work as well. It's going to need a single volume, so we define this volume down here, and then we map it into the virtual machine. And so, or into the, we're not doing virtual machines right now, into the Docker container. And so this volume is where it's going to store all the data, and so you can back up this volume, and then you'll always have that data available. So this is the Docker Compose file that we're going to use. I'm going to link this in the description below, so you can download it and feel free to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and just open a terminal here. And I've just navigated to my folder where I have this Compose file. And so on any computer that's running Docker, you can set it up this way. Now, if you've been following along with the Raspberry Pi cluster series, you can just copy and paste the contents of this same exact Compose file into your Portainer stack window there, and that should be all you need, and it'll set it up. And of course, if you've been doing the cluster storage setup that I've been doing in that series, then you would just need to create the volume first. Then on all of the nodes of your cluster, you create the volume first, and then go in and paste this Compose file into the stack and run it, and that should be it. And then it'll be running on your cluster. But for everybody else who maybe hasn't been following along with the cluster series or doesn't want to build a cluster, we can do it locally on our computer. So this is just on my desktop computer here. I have Docker running. Oops, I need to do sudo for my Docker. So right now I don't have anything running on there. So let's clear this out here. All you need is Docker, so you can go download Docker Desktop if you're on Windows. If you're on Linux or Mac, you can use the Docker Convenience script to install it. I believe I showed that in one of my previous videos, but I think I'm going to do a Docker specific video in the future, just showing how to install Docker and on Windows and on Linux. So all we need to do to get this running, so let's say you have a computer, doesn't matter whether it's Windows, Linux, or Mac, you have Docker running on it. You just need the file that I'm going to link in the description here, and we just need to tell it Docker Compose. Because I'm not using a default compose.yaml file name, I need to tell it the file name. If my file name was just compose.yaml, it would automatically work without me using the file name. since I do like to name my compose files so that I know what the heck is in them, I need to tell it the file name. And then I tell it I want to bring that up, and I want to tell it -d, which is daemon, which means like run this in the background. In other words, always run it, not just in the foreground when I tell it to start automatically. In that compose file, you'll notice I had a restart always here, and so it will, or it should restart on your system. I believe on Windows in Docker Desktop, there's a setting in Docker Desktop that tells it to restart containers on boot, and so you might have to set that. On Linux and Mac, I don't believe you need to do that. If the compose file has restart always in it, then it will always restart when the system restarts. So basically, this is it. You run this one command, and you're up and running with n8n on your local system. So let's give this a try, see if it works or see if it explodes. And of course, I forgot my sudo permission here again. So the first time I do this, it's going to go ahead and download the Docker image. And I don't think it's a really big image. And then once the image is downloaded, it's going to go ahead and bring up that stack there. So I'm just going to pause the video here so you don't have to sit through this, and we'll resume once it's finished. Okay, it's finished. And by the way, if you're on Windows, it's unlikely you need to run sudo. You just need to run the docker compose command from either a normal Windows command prompt terminal or the PowerShell, and it should work just fine. I don't think you need an administrative shell, but you might, depends on your system and if you're the admin user or not. I'm not going to get into all of that. Let's assume you have Docker running on your computer and you know how to use it. So that was it. Single command, boom, we have n8n up and running. You can see here it created a network, it created our volume, and it created our container. Now I didn't map my volume into any specific place. It's just going to go into the default Docker volume storage place, so I'd have to go find that and back that folder up. You can map that to any folder you want using some of the techniques I've shown in the cluster storage series. So why don't we take a look here, see if it's running. And so here we can see that it's wrapping on the screen here, but we can see our container ID and our image, and that it is up and running, and it's listening on port 5678. So why don't we open up that port and give it a try. So here it's only going to be HTTP, and I can probably just type localhost 5678. And so this is running now on my local machine. Now, if you don't have a firewall, or depending on your setup, any other computer on your home network should also be able to access this with the IP address of your machine that you set this up on. If you're setting it up on a network server, then it would be the host name or the IP address of the network server. So why don't I create an account here. I don't want the updates. Oh yes, okay. He wants a better password. At least one number, one cap. Okay, so it's enforcing a good password. Okay. All right. So it's gonna ask for some customization here. So let's just say we're in education, business owner, myself or my team. Let's just tell it we're not using it for work and such. Oh, sure, we saw it on YouTube. And of course, they're advertising their paid product and everything here, which is their prerogative to do. I mean, they developed it, right? And they're nice enough to release it open source. So let's just skip this. And here we are. So here we have a blank n8n instance, and we could actually just start building in here. So we could start making our connections and workflows and so forth. And in a follow-up video, I'm going to actually build our first workflow with this and show you how to use n8n. But in today's video, I just wanted to show you how to install it. If you already know how to use n8n, you'll know what to do from here. If you don't know how to use n8n, I will do a follow-up video soon showing you how to do a simple project with it. Hopefully that's helpful to you and you find it interesting. And please like and subscribe so that my videos get more views. And I'm hoping to keep making more content for you guys, and I've been really enjoying doing it. Have a great day. See ya.